the path of awakening. Beloved children, greetings. It is always a blessing to our beings this opportunity to convey the teachings of the Masters in sacred mission in favor of unit. It is the moment when we give our hearts to achieve that more easily by putting ourselves in joy and gratitude. We have said on numerous occasions that are providing an unparalleled service to create the ALL that is. This service is constituted primarily in learning to recognize their spiritual essence, putting themselves in communion of hearts to the universal flow of creation and divine perfection with the Creator, amid the physical plane. In essence, already do with great ease, when in fullness state of your consciousness level. In milder and subtle dimensions, without the restrictions that permeate them, they conceive their being in unit and let their hearts be put in divine perfection flow of ALL that is. In these plans, where love prevails and compassionate energies of grace, consciousness recognizes the drive and acts in communion of will with all creation. It is recognized as one and feel your heart, essence, through the universal communion of purposes. Freed from the constraints and restrictions of the physical plans makes use of all abundance available to the children of the Creator, in grace and ease. The subtle levels of creation, recognizing his unity with the Creator, acts in kindness and perfection, as the Son of An. The restriction state of consciousness in which they are, however, see it as if they were in a state of separation with all creation and with the other children of the Creator. Face, so a number of constraints and challenges that are imposed by the reality that they live and create for themselves. That's apparent setting in which they are, an illusory scene of chaos they created, which transforms the simple fact of being, to stay focused on your sacred heart, a daily challenge. Fail to feel the sacred heart, come to rely on the lower personality and recognize this as its very essence. The ego becomes the command center of your being, your support and guidance unit. From then create for themselves a number of restrictions, because they failed to recognize the divine flow of perfection, engaged in creation. By placing this state, do not conceive their spiritual essence losing touch with the sacred gifts stored in the heart. Your inner self is emptied into a consciousness level and be lost in the chaos, to read as guidance external elements that say nothing about its essence, about his being. There is a loss of reference and be seeking in love, fails to recognize the divine nature in everything, allowing yourself overcome by fear, by the apparent external chaos and insecurity of separation, ends up undermining each other in disunity as brothers. This apparent disunity that are causing confusion that pervades their world. Because unit sons, to place themselves in separation, leave with a lower personality, guided by ego, manifest outwardly. Thus create external and internal imbalances, which act against their own beings in their world. Because the state you are in a level of consciousness, recognize themselves in the chaos, designing the absence of inner reference to the outside world. They fail to realize that, by accepting this level of consciousness as a reality, end up outwardly manifest their inner reality, creating the world of chaos in which they are apparently inserted. That was the state of consciousness that controlled your world for thousands of years, generating all disunity and chaos that visualize, but we remember, is but a fleeting illusion created by the state of consciousness that recognize. The global process of ascension and awakening of humanity is thus to regain contact with its spiritual essence, rediscovering and radiating the gift's sacred heart to the physical plane, accepting, in unity, the flow of divine perfection. So stop imposing imbalances to the external world by means of resistors that create because of the apparent state of separation which they are. Putting up and recognizing the inner self, the outside world will mirror this reality, radiating beauty and perfection. The process of planetary ascension, thus gradually, is to release as being the illusion of bonds and putting back in touch with your inner self with its spiritual essence. This process will deliver your world the apparent chaos that is, as his beautiful essence manifest in the physical. Putting an end to the imbalances we now face, the self ceases to be the command center of your being so that the full magnitude of their beings radiate to the outside world. Of course, from his perspective, that's not how they see as your reality never encountered size exterior chaos, but at the same time, if you look to your interior will note that there is little of your linear time would not have so easily to address this apparent disorder. This is a signal that gradually are expanding your consciousness, allowing them to become more compassionate beings with great inner strength to remain in the center of your sacred heart. In the transition between the old way of being and the new resurgent, a lot of stored energy is being released within. This inner cleaning ends up reflecting through the manifestation of consciousness abroad, modifying the old collective patterns. The new consciousness that manifests itself fails to accept the standards imposed to incorporate spiritual truth and radiate it, promoting severe changes in social organization. There, in the process, resistance and momentum, so the apparent chaos in transforming. Therefore the collective consciousness drives change, promoting resistance from those who still support us outdoor principles under ego control and the lower personality. We are constantly the support, we emanating benevolent energy that radiates your being and expands your consciousness reality. Thus gradually come into contact with your essence and demonstrate to the outside world to radiate the beauty and harmony contained in their hearts. The energy that radiates spirituality, all its beings are allowing expand consciousness by opening the heart to resume contact with his sacred gifts. It is progressively freeing his world of the old egoic patterns, imposed by the imbalance of their beings. Much has walked and, therefore, are very close to see monumental changes in their world. Major changes will occur to the point of not even recognize the world we currently live. However, keep in mind that these changes are nothing more than the reflection of your spiritual growth amid the physical plane. To go inside, therefore, shall see no more of the old personality into your being. Anew it will emerge in creating a world of love and benevolence. This is the process they face in developing their spiritual mastery. And, therefore, we have called to internalize, to reserve a daily time to grind to a halt and seek God in their hearts. Thus they recognize the full extent of their beings, keeping up the sacred center of their hearts. Access the sacred flame of God in their hearts, so that irradiate and express to the outside world. This is the way to replace the ego commands, manifesting peace in your world. And to make contact with your inner self, God in his heart, so manifest to the outside world by aligning their being the unity of purpose. The imbalance of the external world will align to their spiritual sacred center, manifesting in perfection with all that is. Your loving friend,